I am Candice Buchanan of Island Fever Plus, and it is time for part 2 of my chit-chat with the great Scott Dunn, Group Managing Director of Dream Entertainment, producers of Exodus Carnival in Jamaica, and, of course, Dream Weekend, which is coming up in August of this year. Here's part 2. There's usually controversy that follows Carnival in general in Jamaica when it comes to the cleanup. I will say that I observed Exodus doing a very good job cleaning up behind their revelers. And was that something you guys really thought about this year after all that fiasco they had a few years ago?
Right. So, and again, what happened in the past really wasn't fault of ours. There's a lot of activities happening around Carnival Day. Yeah. There's vendors everywhere. There's a bunch of watch parties.
Yeah, man, the hustlers them out and sell them back juice and thing on the road.
Yeah, so a lot of things that put in place for the cleanup of that. So while the bands have always done a pretty good job of cleaning up after themselves. But it just comes down to proper planning. We worked with the National Solid Waste in Jamaica and, the relevant authorities, the KSAMC, which is, the municipal corporation in Kingston.
Yeah.
So make sure everything was planned correctly. I said we have trucks and cleanup team literally following the band. So, after our 10 trucks, the next truck you'll see is a garbage truck and then just coming through. And literally, as the parade passes, they're cleaning up, literally minutes after. So literally when we're done, it's just kind of like for them to just go around and refine the work.
Let's talk some numbers. Let's talk some. I think that was very responsible of you guys for sure. Let's talk some numbers now in terms of the impact of Exodus Carnival on Jamaica's economy, on the numbers of people that came into the country for Carnival.
Huge. I don't have the exact numbers. They've been reported and people can look it up in terms of how many tourists, but I know it was like an increase of like 20% year over year for the Carnival week. So again, that's super impressive in terms of that's literally statistics coming on airport arrivals, but also for us, our band Exodus grew. Last year, the government did a study which was released recently after 2024 Carnival about the economic impact of Carnival. And they came up, the University of the West Indies did a study, and like the direct impact of Carnival is in the range of, I want to say, 30 million US dollars.
Wow.
And indirect impact is as much as like 600 million.
600 million.
100 million US dollars, if I recall.
Oh my goodness.
And everybody expects, based on what they've seen and with the increase in arrivals, that would actually grow. So you're probably looking at, I say, in the range of, maybe as much as 700 million US dollars worth of indirect economic impact coming out of Carnival. So it's huge. It's huge to the economy. It's very important for Jamaica, for people who love Jamaica and want to support Jamaica, Carnival in Jamaica, and other large festivals like Dream Weekend.
If you missed the first part of this interview, I am so sorry. We will have it on our YouTube channel for you to listen to as well at Island Fever Plus. Follow us on all our social media at Island Fever Plus. Just spell out the plus, right? And of course, Candice_Buchanan on all your social media. So right now, Scott, we talked about the impact of this year's Carnival and how wonderful the execution was. I didn't find anybody who had a bad time at Carnival, and we also talked about the impact of Carnival. Before we jump to Dream Weekend, which is happening this year, guys, you still have time to book your hotels and stuff. But before we jump into Dream Weekend, I just want to know, what are your plans for Exodus 2026?
It's a bit early. We're working on themes now. But I guess a short version of it is that we're always just trying to improve. We're always trying to make things better. You also can look for Exodus in other territories. We're doing more and more sections. We're part owners of Renegade Mass, which is the largest and best band in the Cayman Islands. So that's, K-Mass Carnival is coming up on the 4th of July weekend, so you can check out either the Exodus Carnival page on Instagram or Renegade Max. And Exodus starts with an X with one. It's not EX, it's just XODUX Carnival. So you can check out our socials, see what's going on with Exodus and Renegade Max. We also have a costume section in Barbados for Crossover. So yeah.
And are you doing Miami this year as well?
Always in Miami Carnival. Both Exodus and Renegade Mass are part of Miami Carnival, so you can look out for both bands in Miami Carnival. And yeah, we continue to grow, looking at more opportunities globally. Dream Weekend is likely to do something for Notting Hill Carnival. We just had an event in London on Monday, which went phenomenally well along with Bashment. Great event, 450 was there. Up by Michael Ward, came on Top Boy. He was out there. It was really, really cool vibe.
Nice.
So yeah,
Nice.
Growing the brand globally. Coming to your city soon.
Yes. Don't leave out Orlando, and of course all of us in South Florida, Hollywood, the people listening to us right now in Hollywood and in Miami, and of course Fort Lauderdale. You guys have been exposed a little bit to Dream Weekend, but the Orlando people don't get a touch yet. So hopefully in the coming years.
Orlando need a touch.
Yeah,
Tampa get a touch and Orlando don't get a touch.
Right, you went to Tampa, touch Orlando. So the Orlando people, don't worry, Dream Weekend is coming soon. That was part 2 of my chat with Mr. Scott Dunn, Group Managing Director of Dream Entertainment, producers of Exodus Carnival and Dream Weekend.